Hey, you're listening to the 702 Gaming Podcast, episode number 26. I'm your host, Jacob, where we talk about retro games, new games, news, whatever we want to talk about. If you have something you want us to talk about, hit us up on Twitter at 702 Gaming or gmail.com. Shoot us an email. We'll talk about what you want to talk about, but unless you do that, we'll talk about what we want to talk about.
I like that. Yeah. So you better say something.
Yeah, say something or just listen. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. Um, we appreciate you listening to us, though. I'm joined by Josh today.
How's it going?
Jason's out and about, but we got Josh here. What up, man?
Yeah. What's going on?
I like that hat. That's cool.
Thanks.
Clean,
Yeah. Super
clean.
super bright white right now.
Yeah,
It's
like have
it's
you worn
probably
it golfing yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a few times. I just keep it out of the mud.
Yeah, it's nice. Right on. Hey, today we're going to talk about a little bit of old news, but it's still interesting to discuss the Bungie acquisition by Sony and Destiny's newest updates and things like that. So uh, it was interesting because Sony announced that they were acquiring Bungie as a company shortly after Xbox announced the acquisition of Blizzard Activision. Now, this wasn't like a rebuttal or something to Xbox. I'm sure they already had this in the works, but Bungie's had a relationship with Sony since Destiny 1, right? With like
Exclusives and stuff like that. Yep.
exactly like early content to
Yep.
PlayStation and everything like that. And I'm
Yep.
sure that money went towards helping them fund their game and
Oh, 100%.
whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So
part of
they're
the
doing
exclusives,
kind of
yeah.
the same thing, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think that's what they're doing right now.
exclusives for now have already been kind of I believe there was a tweet, and I think it was in the original statement that they said that this Sony's involvement right now will not necessarily give them exclusives outside of every other player. I think that was clear that it didn't make the community happy when that was their contract early on, but they signed on for that at the beginning and had to ride that one out. So
Yeah. True. And I know I read that. Well, okay, so first off, I thought, okay, they're going to leave Destiny 2 on every other platform, just like Xbox left Minecraft on every other platform. It's already a community there. They aren't going to just shut it down to those
correct.
people. So I
Yeah.
thought, they'll keep that going. But then in the future, Destiny 3 or new games from Bungie would obviously be exclusive, or I thought. But then they did announce that their deal is Bungie's going to kind of stay by itself still. It's not necessarily just Sony games,
Hmm.
and they're going to release to other platforms, which was interesting to me. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, from what I understand is it's just Sony's money. That's their Sony is investing in Bungie with just they're like we're not really going to mess with you. We're not going to like try to get their board to influence Bungie's cadence of games, their design, any of that. Right at this time, let's just know like at this time things can always change. So I think it just it's like a win-win for both. Bungie gets that infusion of cash because they just built that new like huge studio warehouse server whatever thing that they got up in Seattle. It was something stupid like I want to say it was like 500,000 square feet or something, and filling that with all new people, employees. It was probably to have cash on hand to hire new people to get the machines in there. I mean just to fill a building like that probably cost $1.5 million between salaries
Yeah.
and everything for operations wise. And then Sony is like back in good faith with Bungie, and I'm sure they made a lot of money in that partnership the first time. So now it's more like them getting a cut, helping Bungie grow, and then their return of investment is probably double or triple over the next 10 years. I don't know how long the contract was. I don't remember seeing a number.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I don't
So
remember either. But it's almost like they're more of a publisher for them than an owner.
yeah,
They will own them once this goes through, but they're acting more as just a publisher. to get it out there. I'm sure they're going to be paying for the advertising, commercials, things like that. They fund a lot of the game, and then they also collect most of the money from sales of the game.
And that's the weird part, is because that's what Activision was.
Well, so that's what I wanted to bring up. It's so interesting that Bungie could have easily been owned by Xbox again, because they used to be owned by Xbox way in the past. They could have been owned by Xbox again, because if they had stayed with Activision, Activision's being purchased by Microsoft. When that, like, they just missed where they would have been owned by Microsoft possibly, right? Because Activision did own them, right? And then they bought themselves out to be,
Exactly.
they broke the contract and everything to
Yeah,
get out of
exactly.
there.
That's
Yeah,
why that's
interesting.
that's
And
why
now
I
they're
feel
going to
like
some.
that's why I feel like we only have a piece of the puzzle that's actually been released, and like the more in the know people of like the fine print of what is going on, it could be as simple as like Luke Smith and the other game directors just didn't like those people over there anymore, and the way they feel pressures of changing them, and maybe this Sony partnership actually, they're just like, yeah, cool, we'll be the publisher, but we're not going to be like Activision was to you. We're just investing and you guys do your thing. We're not changing, we're not touching your model or anything like that. So hopefully, question mark, but like you said, it's weird that they're like, for, I don't know, this, it feels like a year maybe that they've only been out of the Activision on their own, kind of separate. I forgot what the
Yeah,
date was
I
at.
mean,
It's not,
it
maybe.
might be 2 years now, just because the last 2 years disappeared.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't think
right.
those are
You're
real
right. Probably
years.
closer to 18 months than I'm like, yeah, it's only been a year, but we've all
2020 and 2021 do not exist
such a
in
blur,
time.
right? Such a blur.
Yeah.
It's like some gap there that nobody can explain. But right, it still does seem kind of odd. So that's why I'm like, there's got to be something. There's something a little more to it that we don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing? Does it matter?
I think for I trust in the employees at Bungie and the product that they put out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, probably forever will. I don't really have a lot. I have my moments of criticism, but I'll probably never stop playing it until it dies out. And I love everything about the game that they produce with it, and then they do listen to the community as good as they can. I mean, development is not easy.
They may have had some small misses within Destiny updates and stuff like that, but overall, I don't think they've really blown it like BioWare. Maybe they haven't
Yeah.
brought out like an Anthem.
Yeah,
They haven't done that.
not
So
every
all their Halos are good.
not every
And
DLC is a banger.
right,
Not every
that's
season
what I
is a
mean.
banger. I mean, it's just kind of to understand how hard it is to like make the best content you've ever made before every year, in and out. Every 4-month season's got to be the best season ever made. That's kind of a lot. So
Yeah.
if they can, the big DLC drops, I think, is the best model. They figured that out. Like, they tried other things, and you kind of got to be experimental and take risks to
Yeah.
achieve those bangers and stuff like that. So I believe in the team. I know the corporation money and business is like, it is what it's America, So I just hope that it does seem when Bungie broke free from Activision, the content kind of shifted again. The way we were seeing the quality and the depth of like artistic and story mode, and then listening to community focus and changing things from there, making the gameplay better on top of all of that it already offers. And I think that was just the reins of the contract with Activision. So maybe there's underlying things with the Sony bringing in the money for publishing, and they have all the money. I mean, it's only a handful of corporations now that don't have the money. It's all kind of getting to one person pretty fast. I don't know how it's going to stop. that's another conversation, I guess.
Yeah, I think overall it's a good thing. I mean, Bungie being left alone a little bit is a good thing. Sony pumps out really good games, and I think this fills a gap in Sony's portfolio as far as they make really good single player narrative like action games. Why not have a really good first person co-op game in their portfolio that's like theirs? And I'm sure it's going to get added to their PS Now or whatever, Game Pass type service they are offering.
Oh, okay.
And if I can ever find a PS5, I mean, I'll join it and play with you guys. But man, until then, I don't really want to invest all the money in Destiny again because, in the DLCs and stuff like that, because I purchased it before and I purchased a little bit of the DLC, but I'd rather it just be included in a subscription basis for me because that works for me.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, stop making me pay $40 every DLC, even if it is only every 6 months. Give me just a $15 a month thing like Game Pass. I'll pay it. I get all access to all your games. Like, give that to me, Sony, and I'm in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, what was the newest DLC that dropped on? Is it Queen?
Witch Queen.
What was it? Witch Queen. Okay.
Witch Queen.
So, what planet does this one take place on? Is this Venus or?
So, no, they pretty much. Most of the campaign and everything is like the Throne World, and like you go back to you go to Throne World, and then I think it's
what is Throne World? Is that part of the solar system, or is that a ship?
No, Throne World is like for people that don't play different dimension. You're in the upside down.
Okay.
You're in the ascendant plane.
Okay.
So that's
right
what I always say. Non-Destiny people like you go in the upside down. So the way Savathun, we've been trying to like catch her from like the original D1 kind of storyline, and like there was a Taken King DLC in Destiny 1 that kind of brought that storyline deeper, and it's like kind of resolving a lot of those old storylines and progressing into what's next. And the next thing is like the darkness or the veil. The Witness is the new character, is like the best like finishing story cutscene so far that we've had. So that was like they hit that one. That was a banger. So that was they got that one. And that's the cinematics and the storyline, right, with the art, and then the real world like architecture, skyboxes that they do is just, you can't beat it. So those are so good, and then paired with the the actual gameplay connectivity of the first person shooter, like they got that down just as good as everybody.
Yeah, gameplay is just on point for Destiny.
But I mean, it also dropped with the new season on top of that. So I mean, there's so much to do. We waited so long for the DLC because they pushed it back. It was like September of last year, went to February 22 this year. Wow. So yeah, we've just been a month. The raid's only been out for like 2 weeks.
Have you completed all the DLC?
I think so. I did the main storyline. I did
complete the raid.
We finished the raid a couple days ago. That was right now like the hardest raid they've ever put out. So
who completed it with you, like gamertag wise, like if you want to shout them out?
Oh man,
did you have a good?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember everything. Yeah. We tried for several.
You had your crew.
We had like our main crew though. We got it done. I would have to go back. I don't want to leave somebody out and put the wrong name.
Yeah,
because there was. Yeah. So we tried to do it kind of day one ish, and there's contest modifier on because they do worlds first. So there's nothing else like that. I've done it. I don't know, a couple years in a row, and even in the years that I didn't actually try to do day ones, I would still watch it on Twitch and do all this, watch everybody's and kind of the race and the whole thing. So I mean, the winners do legit get like the world's first like big wrestling belts from Bungie.
They really do.
Yeah, dude, it has like the raid emblem on it, the like skull and crossbone kind of raid emblem.
Could you imagine hanging that in your living room?
Yeah, it's cool. And the streamers that win it, You know,
Yeah.
mostly, be honest, they
Yeah.
play it the most, and they're the best at it. They'll put their belts on their wall or something behind them. Yeah, it's always cool though, and
It's
just
really
watching
cool.
that and that first raid day. There's nothing like. There's not many other games that are like doing Destiny raids. I don't know. I haven't really come across another co-op that demands that much. Like
Hmm.
I know like World of Warcraft has huge person raids, but that's like it's not the same. It's like the
Yeah, and it's
is a
not the
perfect
same
amount.
now, especially because hey, I'm wearing a World of Warcraft
Mm,
sweater right
mm.
now.
Did
This
you?
old dude, this old school. Um, I the World of Warcraft's raids and stuff now are way different. They aren't like they used to be, where it's very like, hey, you get here, you stand here, you do this. It's just mayhem now. Everyone just get in there and you might finish it. You probably will finish it.
You just
You might not, but man, no one communicates because there's looking for groups now. So
mm,
everyone just gets in a group for raid and fights. It
just
used to be where you had to organize and
right,
everything.
right.
Yeah. Now, WoW is a little different now.
No, and this newer raid is you can't really hide people in too many of the encounters. Like everybody has to kind of take part and do something. Um, the boss looks like a I don't know, like a small celestial. Have you seen Eternals? The
In
movie.
the game.
Have you seen the movie Eternals? Like
Oh, Eternals,
Celestials,
yes.
the
Oh, okay. It looked
Celestials.
like that.
So the boss looks like a small like Marvel Celestial
Okay.
like type character. It's funny. Like there's a small mechanic before you do like get up to the boss like level, and he just like walks like proud and high shoulders and like great posture with his hands behind his back, and he just stomps around and like flicks his foot and kicks you off the map. It's like it's so like watching day one. It was hilarious because he's just
He's so proper.
yeah, and it's all different. It's not like a boss or enemy type that resembles anything we've seen before. So
Okay.
there's been so much original, fresh, like
That's cool.
content, artwork, geometry within the game, and the crafting system. My God, oh, the Bungie lords, gods, if you will, finally gave us crafting. It was a little clunky at first, and they're going to change it. Like there's so many different currency materials to craft,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
they kind of seen the error of their ways already. Again, what I was saying, it was like I trust in Bungie's staff that they're listening and changing things for the way the community wants to play the game. So they're going to eliminate most of them. There's like 4 or 5 right now. They're just going to make it one. So it simplifies things. They're like, all right, it's not super easy to just go in there and then like craft a weapon and get the best roll in the game. You have to like craft it and then use it and upgrade its level until you can get all the perks unlocked.
Oh,
So
that's cool. Yeah.
there's still
Yeah.
like, but if that's the gun you want to
It gives you a
use,
reason to play.
yeah, and it's not too terrible, and you can pretty much passively get materials, and I mean like anything, it's impossible not to have metas in video games. It's just something's going to be stronger, so natural metas are going to come through and people are going to be able to craft them. But that's pretty cool. It's a lot better than trying to do the same strike 50 times and not getting the roll you want. I mean, your buddies have gotten 15 of the they're alongside you doing the same amount, and they've got 15, 16 of the god roll, and you're like, come on, man. At least with the level on the weapon, upgrading that over time by just using it and then being able to unlock the perks. It doesn't matter what you do now in the game, you're getting that god roll eventually the way you want it. But you do have to
Does
like
Destiny have any kind of mechanic in the background that if you run the same raid so many times, your percentage of getting what you're looking for goes up, or is it always the same?
they have done that in the past with raids that they were about to remove from the game or
Oh, okay. Okay.
remove from the directory, basically. So yes, the new raids, it's like no, it just sits at a fixed percentage, and you're
Yeah.
yeah. I will if any of my boys do hear this, Somebody got the raid exotic on the first completion, which I don't know how that happened, but it's like my fourth time in a row.
He's hacking.
I might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. They were.
Oh, it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, you hacker. You hacker.
So, yeah, I think it's like a 2% drop or something. It's stupid.
Nice.
Yeah.
What weapon is it?
It's a pulse rifle that so now they're into really build crafting as well outside these doing the crafting weapons. So they redid one of the subclasses, so it's less of just like, hey, it's a cluster of a tree, a cluster of a tree, a cluster of a tree for your skills. Now it's more like I can pick and choose which ones I want to use in combination.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can build out your armor. So bringing a little more of that depth of MMO into the armor and the way you can build it. And the new thing is to get the Devour perk going. If you get an enemy kill, then it refreshes your health like instantly, basically.
Oh, cool.
And then the raid exotic, if you got Devour procced going, like it'll have a little timer on it, the weapon reloads itself after a kill. So basically and then every time you get a kill, if your build is right on your character, it resets your Devour timer. So you can just shoot this pulse. And as long as you get kills, it keeps refilling the magazine. You never reload. It's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
I don't know how practical
like that.
it is in super end game stuff, but we'll see how powerful it is. Yet to be seen.
That's really cool. Well, hey, here's a side question for Destiny. Because I like customization type stuff. I like making my guy look a certain way and everything. And I don't think this affects gameplay because I don't think races have a perk. But who's your favorite race to play as in Destiny?
And
if you're listening, tell us what your favorite race is below in the comments if you play Destiny.
Yeah, I think
what are the main races?
It's like you can be like Awoken, Exo, or Human. That's it.
Okay, yeah. Exo's the robots. Awoken is the blue. Are they human? Or they used to be human?
The Awoken were born because there was like a cataclysmic event that like blew open like a doorway between the ascendant plane and ours. And when the original, like, they were called the Awoken after this event happened because they were like all these people in a colony got swept up by this like Big Bang kind of thing, but it also gave them like Throne World upside down abilities, and that's how they all changed. So they were like human, and that happened, and then you got humans. So these are all just based off like OG Destiny 1 kind of lore and storyline. But everybody wears their helmets and puts their armor on. It's not really
you don't end up seeing it.
Race is not super important. Only if somebody has their helmet off in the tower would you ever know what race they are. So it's not. It's kind of you're just one of the class characters most of the time. It's not. That's why it's kind of odd.
And we aren't saying race is important, people. Like, we aren't doing DNA testing on you to see if you're worthy of raid encounters.
Oh yeah.
We're just saying in game.
Yeah.
What's your favorite race?
Yeah.
What's yours?
So I mean, my character I think is Awoken, the Warlock. But I would say we're talking about character archetype or type is Warlock. So
old is that one?
How old's what?
That character. How long have you been playing that single character?
Oh, since Destiny 2 came out, I guess.
Destiny 2, yeah, years.
I mean, I don't know how long it's been now. Too many years? I don't want to admit it.
He's been awoke for a while.
Awoke, yeah. I think I was on Destiny 1 too. I just did the same character because I was like, wow, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I just made him.
It's him.
And then I made like the Titan the robot or something, and I think I did one of each on all the different characters.
Exo. I really liked the Exo characters, the way their eyes glow and the different. Like I think I have like the horns, and my guy's all black with red eyes.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense because you if you do that and then you put the helmet on, you'd think the helmet wouldn't fit.
Yeah,
but they do.
They must be retractable or something.
Retractable, Exo weird metal horns.
Because in a game like World of Warcraft, if you have horns, it usually pops out of your helmet. You still see the horns.
Oh, yeah. The armor sets and like the ornaments and stuff are getting really good. They're putting more movement and glow on it. So like just doing an armor helmet, putting like that ornament and then a shader over that. That's why you never see anybody.
You look pretty awesome. Yeah, you don't want to take it
nobody
off.
cares if you're humanoid or that. They're like,
Yeah.
oh dang, that guy looks
Well, I'm
clean as.
surprised that they haven't added customization to the characters that you can unlock. So, like, say, different eye color or glowing tattoos or something that would make your character look unique in that way too.
I don't think anybody that really plays the game, and I mean,
And takes off their helmet. They're
yeah,
all Mandalorians.
yeah, pretty much. That's a really good way to
Yeah.
say it. I think everybody in Destiny is a Mandalorian, and if you're not, we'll probably push you off the tower because it's weird. Okay?
Yeah. Put your helmet on, dude.
I don't want to speak for the whole community, but mostly everybody doesn't care about that. Like, you play on your character main, and you're like, hey, I'm a Titan main and a Hunter main, so like Guardian Games is coming up. And it's always a big deal because there's way more hunters, like per account,
Right. Just tons
than
of
there
hunters.
are Titans and Warlocks.
Yeah.
In that's just
Mine's Titan.
Yeah, see, there
Mine's
you go.
Titan though.
There you
Yeah,
go.
and you're a Warlock.
Mhm.
We're more the underdogs.
Yeah,
Well, usually too, I prefer to wear my helmet, but no pants.
I mean,
Just
I don't think you could do that.
I know I'm losing out on perks, but I like to show off everything. Oh no, that's Cyberpunk. Never
Yeah.
mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. You can't you can't customize your junk in Destiny. That's Cyberpunk. I forgot.
Yeah,
My bad.
It's not that in depth. It's
Okay.
It's just you know, I guess the geometry and style of the different armor pieces and shaders is all you get.
Yeah.
But at this point, there is so much in the game, and that's why I know a lot of
And
people.
the fact that you can like transmog or whatever you call it in that game,
Mm-hmm.
it lets you like really look different than everyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people use like, up to 3 or 4 different. Got 5 armor pieces. I've seen people use 3 or 4 different armor set pieces. They're they
Just
don't
combined.
Yeah, and just
that's cool.
combined and then make similar type shaders that make it flow. That's come out pretty good. So
I like that. That's cool.
things like that. I mean, but overall, knocking it out of the park. I'm not really concerned about Sony's acquisition.
I think it's
at
going to be a good thing. I think you're going to see, it's going to take a little while, but you're going to see more updates and bigger updates, I think, with this.
I just
hire more people, bust them out quicker. It's going to be good.
And you said something earlier that I wanted, and even a lot of my other friends that play it would be do an annual subscription for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm okay with the like 1 year DLC drop like this, because the DLC and the new season comes out at the same time. It's so much content. It's so much content. And they've already said that there's more content like hidden in secrets behind this. So that's usually time release or other stuff that they've already, it's already been pushed out. It's the codes in the game. They're just waiting to discover it or get it turned on somehow. So and if they could do that on a consistent basis, maybe come to the end of the year or the end of each season, people kind of log off for a bit. That might be natural, but I think that's the way the new model is, and as long as Sony doesn't come in and mess that up, because that's kind of what happened. They were doing it on that cadence. Everybody really liked that those first couple years, and then Destiny 2 came out, the Activision contract and all that stuff, and that's when they started trying to just do it like 30.
They're doing like a drip feed.
Yeah, like $30 a season every 3 months, and then we still only got 1 raid that year, and it was like, what's going on? And it was actually more money that we were spending too, as well.
Yep.
So,
more money, less content, but just spread out longer, and it was just
Yeah, and if you think about how much money we do spend on games, I know some people, this is a touchy subject when we're talking about money and finances, but you think about all that money you spend on games. If it was just $100 for the whole year, I get all the content on that game. I don't have to worry about it all the way until next February.
Yep.
So it was just $100. You know,
That's the kind of layout I like on a game like Destiny. Not
yeah.
That's not for every game, but it's
Oh
on
yeah,
a like a live service game. I'm
yeah,
cool with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, and obviously there's other price points in there. Don't get me wrong. It's like it's not just that or nothing. Um, but I think that the only issue is you have to catch up. So if you're not
Yeah.
already current, catching up will cost more. And I don't know how else they could get around that. I mean, it's content they made. It's content I pay for.
Right.
I'm not like, if they lowered the price and you got it cheaper now that it's 2 years old, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It does some people for whatever reason, but I'm just like, it's been out for 2 years, like super old. It's like I maybe used one gun from that. It's like
Yeah.
it's over.
Uh-huh.
It's gone. No big deal.
That's in my bank. I
Um,
dismantled it.
it is not. It's the game is not super forgiving when it comes to buying the
Falling behind.
buying the last two DLCs. But I'd like to see if they could do it to where it's just like,
Well, my buddy Brandon Sparksetter, he hasn't hopped back in the game. He's really into Destiny, but he hasn't bought all the other stuff because it was on Game Pass when they removed it. He doesn't want to keep paying to catch up. So he's waiting for like a bundle or something that'll give him everything that he missed out on in one price instead of worrying about catching up money wise and gameplay wise.
that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, it doesn't devalue what I've already paid for and I've enjoyed. I don't feel that way about it. So say it costs the new player $200 then, and they can get everything in the past after the new one comes up. So you have to buy the new current one, and $100 gets you probably the last 2.5 DLCs or whatever.
So you're saying at the end of the day, they're paying less money than you, but they're also getting the content a year later.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, there's still, for Bungie's perspective as a business side, it's like, well, no, I'm still going to get some money out of that if you're going to buy that content. I'm not just going to give you last year's content free every time, because then you'd have,
everyone would just wait and
you'd
buy
have
it
half
a
the
year later.
community just waiting a year to play the content. So
Yeah.
it's a balance there, and I get both sides. That's why I'm pretty neutral and just chill about it. That and the fact that I keep up with it makes it a little easier. But I wouldn't mind, like you said, that I wouldn't mind if there was a bundle, something like that, to help not feel as caught up. But there's one little asterisk, is that he could buy Witch Queen and not have to buy the other stuff. He just might be locked out of certain older stuff. He wouldn't be locked out of anything new. So if you are a year or two
he would
behind,
just maybe have to skip some old stuff.
he just wouldn't be able to play like those raids, those dungeons.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
So he would be able to play the new dungeon, the new raid, saying the new gun mission or whatever, but nothing from those seasons. It would tell him too when you try to click on it. It said, whatever season you need to own this for that activity. And it used to be part of the model that you had to catch up when they was talking about Activision and the season to season to season. It pissed a lot of people off because they were like, well, I took 3 seasons off. They were like, well, you got to buy those 3 seasons plus the new DLC, and it was like $160. I was like, oh, they probably only got a small percentage of people to do that. Which in the big picture lost them money.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, let's change this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a good model.
Yeah. No, I agree. What's your favorite thing about the new DLC? The number one highlight. Only pick one.
All right, the raid. I mean,
the raid's good.
Yeah. Number 2 is crafting. Number 2 is the
I said only
crafting.
one.
I know. I could do it.
I know. You just did that.
I mean, it's so original. All the spaces, the mechanics. they made it very accessible this year for World's First, meaning like the power grind. So you know how to understand Destiny's like level system. It's
Right,
power
the
based.
light.
Yeah, your light.
Yeah.
You
It's
know.
basically light level is an item level after you hit your character level,
Right.
right? You top
Yeah.
out at your character level and then you build up your light.
Yeah, your character level's really irrelevant unless you're a brand if you've never played it before. So
Right.
yeah, it's really more your light is like your light power level is. I think they just call it power level now. The power level is your difficulty level, and that's how
Okay.
they set most things like that. So the raid is 1550. I think the boss is 1550, and everybody was capped 1530 day one. So that was hard as heck. Just that, so you were 20 points below.
Yeah.
Like
And
every
you're trying to
encounter.
slowly
Yeah.
get back up there.
Yeah. So they made it super accessible for everybody to get there though, because
Oh, okay.
if you did the campaign on legendary mode, you basically got to 1520. If you could do the campaign, and they offered a normal mode and a legendary mode, which was definitely turned up. Like it became hard then. It was kind of fun to play the campaign, such a hard mission.
Mm-hmm.
So you did that, and you were only 10 points off. You do some strikes, you were there. You had cap level, and they gave us 10 days to prepare for launch. So everybody was in it. It was, but it's super original. I mean, they had to make it super mechanic heavy because of the accessibility. And you can't really hide anybody. I like that more. I mean, it's probably make LFG miserable, which hopefully I don't have to do too often, because
Right.
you have to get 6 players online. It doesn't
Yeah.
match. It's not matchmaking. So
Yep.
and then the communication part of it, it's my favorite, one of my favorite things to do on games. Period. So, and just the artwork, the storyline that goes with it, because it's foreshadowing for like what's coming, and we're maybe getting into a new enemy type and like whole nother thing. This new witness character in like the darkness, like they're able to like consume and move planets in and out of solar systems and like crazy things. It's just like, so I don't know how long the game will go, but they're extending it. They're closing other storylines, and the raid was really in the middle of the storyline, which is always awesome. I mean, just to
Yeah.
play the end game content and feel like it's so disconnected from everything else, it's kind of weird. And
Was weird.
and
Yeah.
they've done that a few times, and it's just like,
It's
okay,
almost like a
that's weird.
side story.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
was like
Yeah. The yeah.
they
The
they tie
raid
in
should
the
really be the center of the story.
they tie in the lore on some back end missions when they do that. But I like when it's just directly related to it. Like
Yeah.
Savathun was the campaign boss, but then now this new like kind of character brought in this other guy. It's the disciple of the new boss or whatever new villain that we've been revealed to, the witness, whoever this guy is. So
Okay.
and then within the raid itself, there's kind of like pictograms on the walls and like tapestures, or how do you say it? Just like storyline, like glyphs and stuff like that. And so,
Yeah,
like,
alluding to more.
and there's a whole storyline through the boss of the raid and how he came to meet the witness and the this darkness guy and all that. So it all ties in so wonderfully, and super original. Like I said, he looks like
That's
a
cool.
little mini celestial, if you can.
Mini celestial. Yeah, I like that.
And he just prances. He's just so like proper, and he's just like walks around, just strutting his. He like kicks you. It's like a little flick of his foot, and you're just dead. Oh man, it did take us like, I don't know, almost 2 weeks to beat it. It was only
Complete. Wow.
Yeah, we almost did it a couple days ago. We were like changing different people in and out, work schedules. It took us a while to get all the encounters down. I'm pretty smooth. I think we're gonna give her a go here in a couple hours. So.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Well, will you go jump on that? Hey, just big shout out to Bungie and Sony. Good on you. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think,
looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think more companies are going to be acquired and consolidated as other companies try and get into the space, but that always leaves room for indies to grow, I think.
Yeah,
If we left like Activision, Bungie, even Ubisoft, all that kind of stuff, they're just massive. They would just continue pumping out the same games over and over. Why not consolidate, let some new people grow and new ideas come out?
there.
I don't think any of this is a bad thing.
No, not at all. And there is. I'll just say this one more thing. There is that other IP that's not really titled yet
Yeah, from Bungie,
that
right?
Bungie has. It's still
Yeah, they're
others. So
working on
we
something.
still don't know what that is. Maybe that. So maybe they needed some money from that from Sony. Maybe Sony's getting some exclusives there. I like who freaking
I'm
knows?
excited for that, whatever it is, because Bungie hasn't done us wrong yet.
No, I think
Not too dirty. So I've liked everything Bungie's come out with, so
yeah,
I'm excited for that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good on them. I don't think it's a negative. I think it's a good thing. And yeah, why don't you go play some Destiny? I'm gonna go play some Sea of
There you
Thieves.
go.
Yeah.
Love it.
Um, nothing else to talk about. We're out of here.